Loop around the quarter, sharing with you a little bit of the story behind this area. Well, as I mentioned at the start, when the area was created in the 1920s, it was created to be the home of industry. When the roads were put down, they were all named after old British men who had a background in the maritime industry. Halsey Street here is named after Admiral Lionel Halsey, who commanded a battle cruiser during the First World War called HMS New Zealand. Admiral Halsey's claim to fame was that while he was in command of the ship, he never lost a single man, and nor did the ship suffer any serious damage despite all the battles they fought. The crew looked on Admiral Halsey as the lucky captain. See up ahead of us surround one of the oldest sporting grounds in Auckland. We know it today as Victoria Park, but if we were to go back to 1901, there was no park up ahead of us at all where the trees are. That was actually a fishing lagoon, and it was part of Auckland Harbour, which obviously tells you too that all of this land that we're on now, all of the land you can see around us here, all of this was part of the harbour, and all of it has been reclaimed from the sea. It is hard to believe that Auckland Harbour came right through here, right across the other side of Victoria Park, but that was the first piece of land they began to reclaim, filling in that fishing lagoon called Freeman's Bay. They started it in the late 1800s. It was completed in 1904 as a sporting ground and named after the late departed sovereign Queen Victoria. They then went on to reclaim the land in stages, heading northwards, in other words, heading back behind us. This area here in front of us was reclaimed in 1923. The last piece of land reclaimed from the harbour was way up the far end where we were in 1929. And we're just waiting for our traffic lights to look after us so that we can turn into our next tram stop, which is in Gaunt Street. Consider that where we are now was part of Auckland Harbour, you'll understand why when the buildings on the right were under construction, they had to dig down some 30 metres to find solid rock to set the building foundations on. let's hope we get round this time. Come on, Mr. Bus, go. Our next tram stop here in Gaunt Street. The very first chairman of the Auckland Harbour Board way back when Auckland became a city in its own right in 1871. The C in William C. Dawley's name stands for Crusher. What a name to call your son, William Crusher Dawley. Never found out what the origins of the Crusher word were, and he only ever referred to himself as William C. Dawley. But Wynyard Quarter isn't all about men. The ladies get a look in as well, because when the park on the right-hand side was created 7 years ago, they named the park after William C. Dawley's wife, Amy Dawley. She was a loud and long campaigner of women's rights and the suffragette movement here in New Zealand, and I guess it's because of women like Amy Dawley that New Zealand became the first country in the world to give women the vote. And I guess you're probably sitting there thinking it's a bit strange having a tram going in a circle with 4 tram stops. And that's because this tramway was part of a much bigger concept that has never been completed. When the tramway opened in August of 2011, it was going to be the link to downtown Auckland, travelling along Quay Street and terminating at the bottom of Queen Street, bringing people from downtown here to the quarter, moving them around this loop, going back to downtown. Well, sadly, because of politics, this was the only part of the tramway built, the track to downtown never constructed, which is why now the tramway is soon to close for good. They've decided they want the land our tram shed on the left sits on for the next block of apartments to be built, and when that happens, the tramway closes, tram shed demolished, and the next apartments go up. We also lose the community herb garden here on the left, set up by local residents and businesses. And on the left is our second tram. We've got 2 trams in our fleet, and there it is there, having a bit of a sunbathe. This block of land used to belong to Mobil Oil, and they used to have all of their oil tanks here. The tower on the right-hand side was built to recreate the days of the oil tanks. 2 old stormwater drain pipes hooked up to the tower to make for 2 really fun slides. If you haven't checked the slides out yet, do come back and check them out. They're a lot of fun. And those great big concrete silos on the left are the last remains of the Golden Bay Cement Company that was set up down here when this area was the home of industry. And those silos give this part of Wynyard Quarter its name, Silo Park. To the right of the silos, the steel-framed gantry has a children's playground in front of it, and you get a great view of the Auckland Harbour Bridge from the top level of the gantry, lift at the far end, stairs at this end to take you up there. Well, if you're staying with us, part 2 of the story next trip round, you just had part 1, but if you're leaving us, remember your ticket's good till 4 o'clock.
Thanks, guys. I was going to keep going on the tram and get up on the pantry, you know, get little ice creams and shoots going in. So, you know, we'll get, because I'm... You're welcome.
I can get ice cream for my day away.
I mean,
How many we got there?
are you...
How many got your
car?
Not yet.
Not
I mean, I'll go home after the ice cream back. I'll go around to you. Might take a while.
Dada. 这里。啊。
你们要扶好，为什么坐这吧？
妈妈，这个是什么？
双摄像头哎。不能放跑啊！
你们想坐哪边？
我说他们都还没上。
I don't usually open the back door, so when you've had enough and you want to hop off, just yell out back door and I'll open the back door for you. Thank you.
我懂，谢
Hello,
谢
coming
各
with
位。
us? Push chair on the back door, please. Thank you. And scooters and bikes all on the back platform. Thank you. You don't need to fold it down and stay up. And passengers to the front door.
但是记得不要站起来啊，坐好扶好。
Everybody get on at the front and the stuff goes on at the back. Thank you.
Welcome. Where's the
It's locked. Yeah, that's all good. Oh, thank you. Go there. You can just go inside.
Okay, I put the one.
You guys get on the front. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I get. Okay, we'll just put it in. That's
Cool.
fine. Perfect. Thanks.
Welcome.
Just so you know, I'm installing the audio for sound. So it's quite-
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's mine. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, do you want to go with Ethan?
Oh, so, you're with the chicken and the other lady needs to come back. So it's just the two of you? All-day ticket until 4 o'clock, and we are sharing a story, so we submit if you need to talk.
어, 11시면 가도 돼.
Well done. And you have happy ticket. Again, sharing a story, very different to the
그래서
other.
어떻게 할 거야?
Thank you so much.
뭐 해야 돼?
Thank you.
그냥 가위.
And good afternoon, those of you who just joined us. Welcome aboard the Dockline Tram as we do our next loop around the quarter, sharing with you a little bit of the story behind this area. Now, those of you with scooters and pushchairs that are on the back platform, I don't open the back door normally, so when you're ready to hop off, yell out back door, and then we'll open the back door and give you a hand to get everything off. Now the tram here runs every Sunday, 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, run constantly through the day, and we also run long weekends and public holidays. So the coming Easter weekend, we'll see the tram running here Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday. And if you're around on the Sunday, we'll be running both of our trams together that day. It's a very rare thing to see both trams out. So if you are around on Easter Sunday, both trams will be running because it's usually a very busy day for us. And then of course the following Friday, it's Anzac Day. So we'll be running Anzac Day, the Saturday and the Sunday. So that's going to be a very busy weekend for us. Well, as we trundle around the loop, you probably noticed we don't have curbs or gutters on the roadway. That's because Wynyard was created in 2011 to be environmentally friendly, or to quote the buzzword of the day, to be sustainable. So when it rains down here, the stormwater runoff from the roadway goes into these rain gardens on either side of the street. The sand and silt in the gardens filters out the rubbish, so what goes into the stormwater drain system and ultimately out to sea is literally just water. And all the gardens and the trees you see were planted in 2011 when they were transforming this area from an industrial site. On our left, Karanga Plaza, the Welcome Plaza, and you might have been able to spot the white footbridge over which you can walk to the Maritime Museum and downtown Auckland, a walk of about 20 minutes. Our next tram stop here in Halsey Street.